It's March and this is the Library Roadshow. On the show today, important figures from the past, something for local business, and of course, One Book, One Community featuring hidden figures. Now, we usually get a little green in March, so I invite you to get your toes ready to tap as the Kilted Man brings his traditional Celtic music back to Baton Rouge. And we're also happy to have author Mary Mannheim return with her new book. It's still all about bones, but this time focused on fragile ground. But the big focus for March is, of course, our One Book, One Community series featuring hidden figures. Thanks to everyone who came out to the launch party. We are now officially underway. So that means it's time to synchronize your watches, or at least your calendars, and log in which programs and events you want to take part in during the next few months. We've got a great variety for all ages. The Discovery Dome is making the rounds to the branches with Magic Treehouse Space Mission for the kids, and We Are the Stars for teens and adults. Dr. Tamara Wade, former learning expert at the NASA Stennis Space Center, will lead a discussion of the book on March 20th. And later in the spring, Dr. Renee Horton of NASA is visiting from Michaud to share the world behind hidden figures. We're even bringing in Radium Girls with Kate Moore. Throughout the library system, we're offering free movie screenings for all ages, NASA Lego Story Crafts, STEM activities for kids and teens, music of the spheres, and even an escape room mission. And of course, we've got the books. Lots of books. We have both the regular edition and the young readers version in print, audiobook, ebook, and downloadable audio, plus movies on DVD and Blu-ray. Check it out at ebrpl.com.
Free access to books, audio, and library resources are just a few of the benefits available to you when you get a library card. Need free access to a computer? You get that. Want free access to premium digital resources like Mango Languages and lynda.com? You get that. Need to book a meeting space? You get that. Heck, you can even check out a telescope or use a digital printer with your library card. If you live in East Baton Rouge Parish, pick up your free library card from your local branch library today. Premium access to everything the library system has to offer is waiting for you.
If you haven't been in the library in quite some time, you might think that the library is just about checking out books for school and coming to story time. But the reality is far different. We've put a lot of effort into making sure that we have resources to help the business community as well. Adam St. Pierre joins us now to explain in the Digital Down Low.
Are you looking to start a business or a nonprofit? Do you feel intimidated by all the things actually involved with starting either? Are you an experienced business owner, but need a little help planning and optimizing? Well, the library is pleased to announce Gale Small Business Builder. Gale Small Business Builder is a step-by-step online tool for starting, managing, and optimizing a small business or nonprofit. Gale Small Business Builder helps you in 5 stages: the entrepreneur profile, business ideation, break-even analysis tools, business plans, and financial projections. So if you need to learn about SWOT analysis, developing a sound strategic marketing plan, or assessing your business's equity and capital expenditures, Gale Small Business Builder has got you covered. To check out Gale Small Business Builder, head to the digital library page at ebrpl.com.
Thanks, Adam. Later on in the show, we'll dive even deeper into this terrific new resource for small business owners and entrepreneurs. Let's shift gears now and check in with Kayla Perkins, reporting in from Beyond the Stacks.
One Book, One Community is officially underway, and we kicked off the 2018 event last month. The stars have aligned, and we're celebrating the One Book, One Community selection Hidden Figures. I'm at the main library at Goodwood for the Out of This World launch party. Let's check it out. One Book, One Community is an annual literacy initiative from the library system. We pick one book and encourage the community to read it by hosting themed programming throughout the system. The 2018 book selection is Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly.
I'm Mary Stein with the East Baton Rouge Parish Library, and we are delighted to bring to you for the spring One Book, One Community series, Hidden Figures. Woo!
Hidden Figures details the role of 3 African-American women at NASA and their part in putting mankind on the moon. So, we adopted a space theme for the official One Book, One Community launch party.
I am Ben Tolman. I'm with the Baton Rouge Astronomical Society.
I asked Ben how he thinks the book selection this year will affect interest in astronomy here in the Red Stick.
Well, hopefully it's going to make people, just more aware of that there are more components to space travel and astronomy and whatnot than just looking up and seeing the stars or being the astronaut. There are so many different ways that people contributed to us putting people up on the moon. That's just a small part of what we're into, like the moon is the very first step away from planet Earth. We've got the rest of the solar system, the rest of our galaxy, the rest of the universe.
The launch party was held in the plaza at the main library at Goodwood, and glancing around, I could see folks were already getting interested in space travel.
Later on throughout this series, we will be showing the movie on the big screen. We'll be showing it inside in a number of libraries. We'll be having a number of discussion groups. We'll have some special guests such as Dr. Tamara Wade, who used to work at NASA and now works for us here in the city.
One special guest in attendance was Alyssa Carson, a 16-year-old aspiring astronaut.
When I first got interested in wanting to start training to become an astronaut, I first started going to the space camp in Huntsville, Alabama, just to learn a little bit more. But in the recent years, I've joined a program called Possum Academy that's out of Daytona Beach, Florida. And what that program does is train people for suborbital spaceflight. However, even though suborbital isn't quite going directly to space, we do similar things that normal astronauts would do. So for example, spacesuit training, microgravity training, decompression training, and different researches.
What a star-studded event. And the celebration doesn't end there. We've got so many amazing programs going on all throughout the spring. This month, we've got a book talk with author of The Radium Girls, Kate Moore, all the way here from England. It'll be here at the main library at Goodwood at 7 p.m., Saturday, March 24th. To find out what's coming up next, go to readonebook.org. Hidden Figures was turned into a blockbuster movie back in 2016. It was awesome, and I encourage you to watch it. But you know what they say, there's nothing quite like reading the book.
Thanks, Kayla. One Book, One Community is off to a great start. In addition to the source, there's a nice brochure listing programs related to One Book, One Community, plus the Hidden Figures info guide, which is updated weekly. Stay right there. After the break, the library's own Andrew Tadman joins me for a chat right here on the Library Roadshow.
Hi everyone, it's Jack Black coming to you from the set of Jumanji.
Everybody run! Why am I running so slow? I can't even with this place.
Libraries and librarians transform lives every day through digital literacy, discovery, and lifelong learning. There's no puzzle too tough or challenge too great for your librarian. Find the clues to solve your next quest at the library.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. Get Fire Adapted now. Learn simple steps at fireadapted.org.
You're watching the March edition of the Library Roadshow, everything you need to know about your local library system. Andrew Tadman is coordinator of reference services for the library system, which encompasses everything that goes into answering your reference and referral questions, maintaining the community information database, computer and technology training classes, and selecting and curating many of our online collections. And this includes that new Gale Small Business Builder you heard about earlier on the show. Okay, Andrew, what sets this resource apart?
Well, starting a business can be a really daunting task. It's one thing to have the idea in your head, but to actually turn that into something solid. And Gale Small Business Builder gives you that opportunity. Rather than just being a database, it's an interactive tool. So you're actually inputting information into it, and what's going to come out is deliverables that you can bring to an advisor or to a bank.
So it's not just a collection of articles, because we've got that. It's actually a tool that I, as a small business owner or somebody who has that good idea, would actually put me into, and then what is the Gale Small Business Builder going to tell me every step of the way?
Okay, well, there's 5 major sections. The first part is the entrepreneur profile, and that's kind of like a self-assessment where it's going to help you assess your strengths and weaknesses as a business person.
Because maybe I'm not ready to start my own business.
Yeah, that's a crucial thing to know as well. The second part is the business ideation, it's called, but that's really getting the concept solidly down in a document.
Okay.
So strengths and weaknesses of your business plan.
And you have to be realistic about that.
Yeah, and it's going to ask you the questions and give you the guidance to really make you think about what you need to know and to get that down. It's also got break-even analysis, so you'll be able to figure out when you're going to turn a profit. Hopefully you'll turn a profit.
And that's one of the things, when you see those reality TV shows where they come in and try to rescue the business, people just don't have any clear idea of what it takes to make a profit or break even. So it takes you through all those things. I know it's all built on Six Sigma and lean principles, which is the catchword that I hear about in all the business literature today.
Yeah, it goes through that, and lean canvases and all these business terms that you might not necessarily understand, but all those are explained to you. It makes it's all very straightforward language. So it takes the mystery out of it.
Okay, so if I did all this, am I done?
Well, it's not just for starting businesses. And it is all stored in the cloud.
Okay, so it's like my account.
Yep, so when you've done it once, it's there forever. You can access it anywhere.
And I can improve it, I can add new information to it and get new results.
Yeah, absolutely. So for established businesses, it's great as a way to kind of refocus your business ideas. There is also a non-profit section to it. So
I love that. That was a bonus, wasn't it?
Yeah, so if you're looking to start a non-profit or you're looking to find out how to put in grant applications, it works through the same process where you're putting in information and what's going to come out is, a solid grant proposal.
I've already heard from several nonprofits who stumbled into this and built their own that built their own account, and it was able to help them. Well, thanks, Andrew. It's so much to take in. So the good news is that people who are interested in this topic don't have to remember all this. They just go to Andrew's staff at the reference desk to get started. After the break, Charles DeGravelle plus a book review from one of our younger library patrons. That and more coming up next on the Library Roadshow.
Do you wonder how your family landed here? Do you really know your family roots? Discover more about your family history at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library Genealogy Department. East Baton Rouge Parish Library. Become a member and discover more.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to the March edition of the Library Roadshow. Biographer Charles DeGravelle's book, Billy Cannon, A Long, Long Run, paints a complete picture of the colorful life of LSU's only Heisman Trophy winner. Charles joins us by phone now for a little chat. Charles, Billy Cannon said he didn't want to write a book about his life until he met you. What about your relationship with Cannon made him feel this way?
Billy Cannon had kept a low profile for a long time. After he got out of prison for counterfeiting, many writers tried, mostly in vain, to get an interview with him. And even those who got the interview were treated pretty roughly if they tried to venture into that sensitive area. He had made a huge mistake in his life, which he regretted, which he apologized for, and which he simply didn't want to talk about. But as time went by, he began to attend more events, especially at LSU, but also out in the larger community. And I think he began to really understand that people forgave him and that they still admired and even loved him. He knew I was a good, if not famous writer, and he also knew that as someone who had ministered to inmates, not much was going to shock me. And he also believed, rightly, that I would know a real redemption story when I saw it. We've developed a relationship of mutual trust and respect, and beyond that, friendship.
How long did it take you and Cannon to write the book?
We had our first meeting up at the prison, Billy and I, in April of 2014. I spent many hours with him over the summer of that year interviewing him. I took notes, of course. I'm a trained journalist, but I also videotaped all of our interviews. In addition, I interviewed many others, including old teachers, friends, and teammates, both at the college and pro levels. Naturally, I read everything that had been written about him. All of that was before I put a single word to paper. We both wanted to get the book out before football season, and 2016 seemed too far away. So I had to work very hard to finish a manuscript and get it to the LSU Press by the spring of 2015. With editing then, it took a little over a year, and we put it on the stands before the first LSU game in September of this year. As any writer will know, that is a Billy Cannon-like pace, but I'm really glad that I went for it and that I managed it. The timing has turned out to be wonderful. The editors and others at LSU Press have been tremendous to work with, and this book has met with very, very good response, both critically and in sales.
The other main character in this book seems to be post-World War II North Baton Rouge. Was that a deliberate decision?
The part of the Cannon story that involved the end of the Depression, World War II, and the post-war boom was an amazing bonus for me. I realized that the Cannon story, as itinerant workers at the end of the Depression, as industrial laborers during the economic boom in the war years and afterwards, was a reflection of the nation's history itself. I especially loved learning and writing about Estruma, that unique blue-collar part of Baton Rouge where Billy and his brother Harvey grew up. The people of Estruma were proud, hard-working, salt-of-the-earth people who were determined to move their children up into the next social strata. And that in itself is another part of the American story.
Charles, what do you hope readers take away from Billy Cannon's story?
I hope people will understand what I have understood for many years, working as a minister in a maximum security prison. And that is that you can come back from a terrible mistake and rebuild your life on a solid foundation, and from there go on to do something meaningful that will be of benefit to others. It is certainly not an easy journey, as Billy himself will tell you. But Billy's story has, in my opinion, been used by God as an inspiration to others who desperately need to hear that message.
Thanks, Charles. This is a great addition to our Louisiana biography collection. Ask your local librarian to direct you to this and many other good reads. And now let's check in with one of our younger patrons to find out what they're reading.
My name is Lockett, and I am 7 years old. My favorite book is Dog Man. It's about a dog battling a cat named Petey. Petey got washed away in a super tidal way. It looked like this was the end. Hey, you saved me. You're not such a bad guy after all. I got one word to say to you, like rats. So, you just flip the page and it looks like it's actually alive. It's actually like a real live cartoon. Sometimes my mom brings me to the library, sometimes my dad brings me to the library. The thing that I like about the library, I made the Minecraft books.
Thanks. At my house, it's all about Fly Guy, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and Ramona. Stay right there. You're watching the Library Roadshow.
Do you wonder how your family landed here? Do you really know your family roots? Discover more about your family history at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library Genealogy Department. East Baton Rouge Parish Library. Become a member and discover more.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
I guess sometimes things just happen. Devastating things. Your whole world changes in an instant. That's what happened to me the day my mother had a stroke. I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke fast.
Dolores Spikes became the first woman to head a university system in the United States when, in 1987, she was named president of the Southern University and A&M College System. Born Dolores Margaret Richard in Baton Rouge on August 24, 1936, she attended local public schools and graduated with a degree in mathematics from Southern University in 1957. A year later, Spikes received her master's degree in mathematics from the University of Illinois at Urbana. In 1958, Spikes returned to Louisiana, where she accepted a position teaching biology, chemistry, and general sciences in Calcasieu Parish. 3 years later, Spikes joined the faculty of Southern University as an associate professor of mathematics. In 1971, she became the first Black woman to earn a doctorate in mathematics from Louisiana State University. Over the next few decades, she moved through the ranks at Southern to become an associate professor and finally full professor of mathematics. In 1988, she was appointed president of the Southern University and A&M College System, one of the largest predominantly Black public university systems in the United States. As president, Spikes became not only the first female to lead a public college or university system in Louisiana, but also the first woman in the United States to head a university system. Ms. Spikes played the lead role in negotiating an agreement in 1994 that met the goals of desegregation by creating cooperative programs between the university's Baton Rouge campus and Louisiana State University, and between its New Orleans campus and the University of New Orleans, as well as the creation of a new community college in Baton Rouge. Ms. Spikes left Southern University in 1996 and became president of another Black institution, the University of Maryland, Eastern Shore, where she remained until 2001. She passed away here in Baton Rouge on June 1, 2015. We recognize Ms. Spikes' accomplishments as part of our One Book, One Community celebration. This year, we are featuring the book Hidden Figures, which highlights the accomplishments of women of color in mathematics and the sciences. Check the library's website for our One Book community events and join us in reading this wonderful book. Learn more about Baton Rouge's Hidden Figures at the Baton Rouge Room Archive, located inside the Special Collections Department in the main library at Goodwood, where Baton Rouge history comes alive.
You're watching the March edition of the Library Roadshow, a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. The Oral History Collection is a great complement to many of the other unique items waiting for you to discover here in the Baton Rouge Room. And we're delighted to relate our special collections that showcase local leaders to our One Book, One Community series featuring Hidden Figures. On that same note, if you or someone you know in the Baton Rouge area either worked at NASA or participated in some way in our nation's historic space race, please let us know. We're making a list, because that's the collecting part of special collections.
Spring is in the air. Find love, laughter, and more at your library this month. Of course, Black Panther fever is spreading the globe, and the library is not immune. To get your pages turning this month, I took a trip back to the motherland, the home of civilization, and the futuristic land of Wakanda. Black Panther is the first superhero of African descent in mainstream American comics. Having debuted years before early African American superheroes such as Marvel Comics, The Falcon, and Luke Cage, or DC Comics, Jon Stewart in the role of the Green Lantern in 1971. The Black Panther storyline, which ran through 13 issues of the Jungle Action series, numbers 6 through 18, is considered to be Marvel Comics' first graphic novel. Black Panther is a fictional superhero appearing in these comic books published by Marvel. The character was created by writer-editor Stan Lee and writer-artist Jack Kirby, first appearing in Fantastic Four number 52 in July 1966 during the Silver Age of comic books. In the distant past, a meteorite made of vibration-absorbing mineral vibrantium crashed in Wakanda. It was unearthed, and the reasoning was that outsiders would exploit Wakanda for this valuable resource. The ruler, King T'Chaka, like his father and other Panthers before him, concealed his country from the outside world. The Black Panther is the ceremonial title given to the chief of the Panther tribe of the advanced African nation. The Black Panther has made numerous appearances in television shows, animated films, and video games. The character is portrayed in live action by the very handsome Chadwick Boseman, in the 2016 film Captain America: Civil War, and in the 2018 blockbuster Black Panther, set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You can see it in theaters now. It is an amazing film, and it features a great cast. And that's how the page turns.
I'm reading Radium Girls to get ready for Kate Moore's after-hours visit in March. This hidden story is more of a medical mystery, but we tied it into our One Book, One Community series because it features women from America's past and their radioactive intersection with science and technology. Put Saturday, March 24 at 7 p.m. on your calendar and join us at the main library to hear all about it. And now for today's contest. Visit the library's Facebook page at facebook.com/EBRPL. Tell us who are the women in your life who've inspired you. That's facebook.com/EBRPL. And while you're there, enjoy. We are not your grandfather's library anymore. What's coming up on the April edition of the Library Roadshow? One Book, One Community continues with a free Hidden Figures movie screening in the plaza at the main library. Plus, Dr. Renee Horton visits from NASA.
Tune in next month and I'll be covering the history of flight with Jim Slade from Mission Control and reenactor Catherine Wright.
And coming up next month, I'll share another digital resource with you.
And you'll catch me at the main library on March 24th at the Radium Girls presentation.
Thanks so much for joining us on the Library Roadshow. And remember, your East Baton Rouge Parish Library is open 7 days a week at each and every one of 14 branches, plus 24/7 on the web. Check us out at ebrpl.com.
And that's how I roll.